In question 232, how long does the bond of the sacramental marriage last? That's a key one, because today they don't think it lasts that long.
The bond of marriage lasts until the death of one of the partners. It means that no matter the difficulties, the marriage bond lasts.
Yes.
Conclusion. It means that even though there are difficulties, the marriage bond cannot be broken. You can get a court sentence pronounced half a dozen times, divorce. It does not affect the marriage bond at all. They are just husband and wife as before. If any of them tries to marry another, we will ask the person to read in the gospel what Christ said. If a woman divorces her husband and marries another, she is an adulterer. And the person who marries her commits adultery. These are the words of Christ. Nothing can be done about it. You don't solve a difficult algebra homework by declaring algebra unimportant and burning the algebra book.
That's true.
That's not the solution. If the homework is difficult, you seek help. You don't burn the book, the handbook.
That's right. Well, this whole lasting, our whole culture seems to be a throwaway culture. Commitments are not lived, and I think it's because people don't really have a role model anymore to how to conduct themselves. Because if my mother had to work because my father was sick and then he died, and my mother had to work to support the family, but she was a beautiful woman, dressed well, but certainly knew how to conduct herself in an office and not develop relationships with other men, and keep an aloof atmosphere about her. And I think today we don't see that role model. That when that two or more are brought together, or actually when the sacrament of matrimony is brought together, when they're amalgamated sacramentally one, and therefore the spouse has to protect that relationship so carefully, don't they? And making sure they don't develop an affection for someone of the opposite sex.
That is very necessary.
Yes.
Because if they do that, if they go unfaithful to their marriage partner, they break the vows they made at marriage, they endanger their life together, they are unjust to their marriage partner, they are unjust to their children, and they accumulate more psychological problems on top of the theological faults, which we call sins.
See, this doesn't even have to get into a sexual relationship. It's really sometimes just a bonding between a wife and another man, where they prefer the presence of that man over and above their husband, and vice versa. And this begins to develop where they'd rather be with that other person more than their spouse. And this can happen under the best of instances, under spiritual direction. A spiritual director can become so intimately involved with the opposite sex that that person rather be with them than their husband.
Great care is needed in this matter, and great honesty.
Yes.
If anyone Christian has doubt, the person should expose the problems to the spiritual director, because it is so easy to deceive oneself in this matter.
And then those that are celibates, that have made a commitment to remain single, such as yourself and the religious or our Catholic core, have to protect that relationship so carefully because they're married to God.
Definitely. Everyone has effort to make. Chastity is a conquest that must be kept up.
Yes.
It's no use saying, I have been good for 40 years. You can have been riding a bicycle for 40 years. If you are careless today, you fall.
That's right.